so I'm not gonna stand up and do that again because I've already done this 3 times now. And I keep doing something, pushing this button by accident and that button by accident, and it keeps canceling the damn video. So I'm starting to really lose my shit. For some reason, how can I say, since the COVID thing and since I started getting a little bit of a depression state of mind, my mornings, for some reason, are considered to be quite short-tempered for me, at least. You know? So, so let's try this again. Good morning, everybody. It's November the 3rd. It's Addiction Despot 26. Uh, Once again, please remember I am not with the AA or NA or CA or any of the other groups. I am merely a guy that does these videos mainly for himself as well as to try and reach that one still suffering addict, which may just be you, who needs to hear something or get something from whatever it is that I'm doing for the day or the morning, shall I say. Right, so I've been asked this morning to do a bit about my life. So I've agreed, as it is, to try and help a newbie. um, Excuse me. Specialty. For those who haven't seen my specialty yet, lemon juice, turmeric, ginger powder, and about half a teaspoon of honey. Good for blood pressure, apparently. All sorts of things, chest and all that. So yeah, so for you, but um, I had a complete blank. Oh yes, let's do the normal for the day first, eh? Okay, so thought for the day is you got to have faith. Without it, there can be no hope. You have to have faith. Without it, there can be no hope. It's like a lot of people think if you say you have to have faith, it's a religious thing. It's far from it. For example, let's say you went to do your driver's license, your driver's test, whatever. You have to have faith in yourself that you're going to pass. Because if you're going to be negative about yourself and all that, you never know, you might just fail. Because you'll do all sorts of mistakes during the test and that. Am I correct? Think about it. Without faith, you will fall. And that's another thing that you need to learn when you're coming into recovery is to have that faith within yourself that, hey, man, I got this. Excuse me, I just woke up about 20 minutes ago and I got to kind of rush and get this thing going early because we've got people working on the ceiling, so it's, opening up for them and blah, blah, blah. And the damn dogs are irritating the shite out of me. And you call them and, you're like, yeah, nah, I'll make a pair of shoes out of you. Not really. Right. So, faith. You have to have faith, otherwise you're gonna fall. You have to have faith in yourself that you're gonna be able to do this recovery first of all, properly. Number two, it should have been number one actually, but anyway, if you're gonna go into recovery and you want to do recovery, you're gonna do it properly. Otherwise, if you're not gonna do it properly and you're not gonna give it your all, don't waste people's time. Don't waste your mother's time, father's time, whoever's time. Okay, rehab's time. Turn around, leave, and go fuck up some more. And when you're really, really, really at the bottom, come back. Have faith in the people that you're with, that they can help you to find that you have faith in yourself, and then you will start having faith in the system, because you will see that the system works, but you need to work it as well. You cannot just sit back and let it happen, because it won't. Right, let's move along quickly. So as I said, I am not affiliated with AAs and that, but I do like the literature, like I just for today. Cool, let's do it. Today is November 3rd. The heading is No Matter What. Right, so we eventually have to stand on our own feet and face life on its own terms. So why not from the start? Basic text, page 88. Some of us feel that we should protect newcomers by telling them that while everything used to be horrible, now that we're in recovery, it's all wonderful. We feel that we might scare someone away if we speak of pain or difficulties, broken marriages, being robbed, and the like. So, for example, a lot of people think that because you come into recovery, your shit's going to end. Your troubles are going to just end. It's going to go away. On the contrary, in some cases, life becomes a little bit more difficult. Just because you've stopped using that does not mean that life is just going to become smooth sailing. No. You've messed up so much, and you've been messed up so much that it's going to take time for you to, you know, start thinking straight. It's going to take time for people to start trusting you. All these things. And you're still going to face hurt and all that stuff. What does it say? Difficulties. You're still going to face difficulties and pain. Broken marriages. All those things that we deal with. Okay. We're into being robbed and the like. In a sincere and well-intentioned desire to carry the message, we tend to talk glowingly only about what's going well in our lives. So now, I say this to a lot of people, and that's, and somebody says to you, hey, how's it going? No, it's going good. It's going good. If it's not, say so. If it's not going good, say so. As like I said, I think it was yesterday, you need to have someone you can talk to. So if it's not going good, don't say it's not going good. Even if you go to those meetings now, sit there and say, hey, hi everyone, my name is Desmond and I'm an addict. What's going on with me lately is that I'm struggling with depression, I'm struggling with anger, I'm struggling to sleep well, okay? Whatever's going on for you, right? So, as I said, don't lie. Okay, let's carry on here. People putting stuff on my fence here. Anyway, okay, we're going to speed this up. But most newcomers already suspect the truth, even if they've only been clean for a few days. Chances are that the life on life's terms, the average newcomer is experiencing is exper- is experiencing is quite a bit more stressful than what the average old timer deals with each day. And it's very true. The old timer in recovery has got things a little bit more easier than the newcomer into recovery. Why? Because the newcomer into recovery has got that demon that's still dragging behind his ass that's right there. The old timer's demon's a little bit further away, but still there, but a little further away. Easiest way I can explain it. Uh, um, I've lost my place. Here we go. If we do manage to convince a newcomer that everything becomes rosy in recovery, we had better make sure we are there to support the newcomer when something goes wrong in his or her life. If you are somebody that's mentoring a recovering addict or something like that, be some bullshit to them. I hate that. Really, I do. Tell them what it's going to be like. And you know what? 9 out of 10 addicts love it if you tell them to their face exactly what is what. Don't lie. Because you're going to push that addict further away. So, sponsors, make sure you're wrong. Okay. Perhaps we simply need to share realistically about how we use the resources of Narcotics Anonymous to accept life on life's terms, whatever those terms may be, on any given day. Recovery and life itself contain equal parts of pain and joy. It is important to share both so the newcomer can know that we stay clean no matter what. We stay clean no matter that. Those last few words said for me are the best. We stay clean no matter what. One thing you learn when the further you get down into recovery is that this recovery, this is my recovery. This is not your damn recovery. This is my recovery. And I tell you what, as hard as I fought to get my next fix, I'm gonna fight 10 times harder to get my next day sober, and tomorrow's day sober, and the next day sober, and the next, and the next, and the next. Until finally, all the fighting pays off. And you still fight because you want to continue. And when you look behind you, all of a sudden, you got a couple of years behind you. Not a week, not a month, a few years. Recovery is yours. We stay clean no matter what. Just for today, I will be honest with the newcomer. I share with and let them know that no matter what life brings, we never have to use drugs again because you have a support system. Right, so anyway, moving on. So, a friend of mine is busy helping out a newbie, we can say that. And she did say, what about your story in your life, Des? Why don't you say a little bit something about that? So I said, okay, well, I've been wanting to do it, um, but seeing as it's, why don't we just do it now and get it over and done with? Because we all know that we hated writing our life stories. It took me 2 months to write mine, to be honest. So, yo, my roofing people are here. So I think the dogs are locked up. So hang on 10 secs, right? I'm back. And dogs, nothing to bits. I'm gonna skin him. Joking, joking. Right, so I had a pretty lacquer childhood. You know, grew up, spent a lot of years as a very young kid on army bases. Dad was in the military, Ma was in the military, you know. So yeah, so every time when I came, my mom was obviously no longer in the military, and old man was still. So every time he got transferred, you know, went with. And as a kid, it was awesome. I mean, freaking hell, what kid does not want to grow up in an army base where you're surrounded by armored vehicles, troop carriers? Still got sleep in my eye. Troop carriers and all that shit, eh? I mean, that was awesome. Okay. So yeah, strict dad, obviously. Um, Fast forward, he left the military, moved from Windhoek back to South Africa, and Durban, Durban. Still reasonably lacquer, eh? Things are all, things are always tough for the family. Nothing was really easy, money wise. But growing up, it was a case of, I mean, even now today, folk, we always had food on the table, always had clothes on our back, roof over our head. Dad did his best. Um, Come what may be, what you know he may be or may not be. That is one thing I can say about my dad is that you know we never went hungry. So from standard 4 was when I pinpoint my stuff going pear shape. If you want to say standard 4, what was that? It's a grade 6 today in today's language. So I had my first fight, physical fight in grade 6. was always bullied and picked on. I can't even remember who it was, but I was in the library and the dude hit me in the balls, man. Yes, yeah. Something inside me cracked, and I just remember grabbing this guy, and I just didn't stop swinging. And so that was the beginning of my nonsense. I always played rugby. Uh, Rugby to me was awesome. I loved playing rugby. It was a place you could take your frustrations out and really, or put the knuckles to some guys, when you play them on the match days. Um, so yeah, no, yes, yeah, grade 7, same thing. Was always I started getting into more fights and stuff like that. I was in and out of trouble. Um, got a lot of hidings at school. They back then you were still allowed corporal punishment. To me, it was still the best. I'd rather get hidings at school and going home and getting a hiding from Sergeant Major as a father. Now, I was 2 years older than everybody in my group, in my classes. I was kept back twice. The first was when we moved from Windhoek to South Africa. I wasn't very fluent with the English, of the reading of the English, because I was in an Afrikaans school when I was in Windhoek. So I was kept back a year then. And I think a little later I was kept back again because, well, I sucked at school. That's, let's call it what it is. So, I can say I loved sports. Um, Cricket, I tried tennis, I tried everything. But the sports that I ended up loving was cricket and rugby. Um, Rugby partly because of the physicalness of the game. Uh, Mooring people was like part of the thing. um, so yeah, in primary school, my brother was in school with me as well. So what he would do is he would get into a lot of trouble with the older guys, and then they would want to blitz him. So then he would come running to me and say, so and so is hitting me. And then I would go and, sort this out. So come end of standard 5, grade 7, I said to the folks, I said, he's not coming to the same high school as me, you must bugger off. So luckily, my parents were in the position to do so. So yeah, so went into that one, and I went to Hillcrest High. It was awesome. I loved high school. And hold on, give me a second. I'll be back. Okay, I are back. Looking for something a little bit more private, as builders do it, yeah, or roofers, should I say. So yes, to put it simply, um, I was a handful. I mean, when I was younger, I set the sports field on fire at the army base where my mom and dad were. It was the last army base we lived at, yeah. Set the sports grounds on fire. So yeah, a real naughty bliksem. Um, but got naughtier the older I started getting. So now we're in South Africa. So now I'm now in high school. First day of high school. The noise is the dog. So please don't think anything. Excuse me. Can you be quieter? So first day of high school. So the day itself was okay, I'm quite quiet. I've always been quite a quiet person unless I'm with people I know, and then they will tell you the opposite. So, bye, Freya. So first day of high school, I get on the bus to go home now, and you have a single seat when you walk into the bus. If you're facing the back of the bus now, on your right hand side, you have a single seat, then a two seat, then it's three seats, all the way to the back. Alright, so now I'm sitting on the two seater with another standard 6 guy next to me. I can't remember his name. Anyway, so there's a real, how can I say, ruffian climbs on the bus, walks to the back of the bus, comes back to the front of the bus, looks at me and says to me, "Hey, out of my seat." So I look it up at the Zook, because now it's normal. Standard 6s are to be picked on and bullied on and whatever. So he says to me, "No, get off the bus, get off my seat." So I looked at him, I said, "Well, fuck you. This is my seat, because, I've always had that attitude. You don't tell me what to do. I don't care who you are. I'm not scared of you." So as I tell him this, I turn my head to the side to look out the window. And then, bam, it hits me there. And I remember just seeing like the dark of that flashing light. And I looked up at him and I stood up. I looked at him and I said, "Did you just fucking hit me?" And he goes, "Get off my seat." I'm like, "No." But I hit this guy one, but he's off that bus. Boom, 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 down the stairs. So yeah, I was always getting into fights or some stupid shit. I mean, now like the head boy. I don't remember which year it was. If it was grade 8 or grade 9, but the head boy was quite a small guy. And I've been playing rugby most of my school life, so when I got to standard 6, I was really well into the 80s kilograms. Grade 9, I was weighing just over 90 kilos. So, I had my Natal colours 3 times for rugby. Once as a prop, tight head prop, and twice as a hooker. So I wasn't small, but I wasn't the biggest guy as well, if you looked at the first team rugby players, So this head boy, we used to walk around with a little black book. "What's your name? I saw what you did, eh?" I'm like, "How's that?" Picked him up, put him head first into the dustbin. So, it was all fun and games back then. Pouring petrol down the center of the road for like a long long stretch, eh? Scott, if you're listening, I think you were with us, eh? And David. Poured petrol down the center of the road. It was pitch black, darkest night you can think of. Yes, at the moment we lit that freaking fire, that petrol, eh? Whole road just lit up. We're like, "Oh, run." Like his videos on YouTube, run. So yeah, I mean, to put a long story short, I mean, my first joint, I was 11 years old. I lost my virginity at 12. She was 21. Uh, Started doing hard drugs around about 13. It could have been in between 12 and 13, but yeah. Started becoming, more frequent on the hard drug side, around about 20 years old. Frequent, what I mean is by almost every day, almost every week, you know. Drinking, yeah, man, drank like a damn fish. Yes, see, waking up, eyes are swollen, lip is swollen, knuckles are smashed. I mean, that's my first ride at, and that's just like that. I got a pinky finger that doesn't straighten, and then I've got skew fingers. All my fingers are skew. Let's see if we can get it to balance. So I put my fingers together. I can see my fingers all cockeye. So yeah, it was, you know, different. I mean, sneaking out the house at 13 years old. Most of you Durban boys will probably remember a club in Pinetown. It was called Malachi's. Let's see, 13 years old. Uh, Breaking out of the house, well, not breaking out, the burglar bar in my bedroom was so loose, you just push it. It used to pop out. So I used to wait until my dad started snoring. Boop, out, gone to the top of the main road. Clap a thumb, hit a taxi, bro. Pint up. Malachi's, come back. Dad's just getting up, going to work. So yeah, I mean, school. I regret school. What's one of my biggest regrets is that I actually didn't apply myself. Because I mean, today as I sit here, I've got a high school standard 6, which is grade 8. Yes, grade 8. Grade 9, I flunked grade 9 with big red writing at the end of the report. At the bottom of the report, it said, "Please, would not like your son back at Hillcrest High next year." I was like, oh well, bye. So yeah, so drinking. I was driving most of my older friends around when I was like 14. Yeah, going to bars and shit. I was going to bars and all the cluck, and you know, most of my friends were older than me, so it's like, Desmond, you're the designated driver. I'm drunker than you. That's okay. you know. So yeah, like I said, most of the hardest stuff started happening when I was around about 20. So always a naughty shit, always doing something stupid. Um, Never listening. Never listened. Never listened. I used to lie out of my teeth. Even when I didn't have to lie, I was telling lies. So, right, fast forward until about 20. So, about 20 years old, I found this wonderful drug. Now, by this stage, I had done angel dust, I've done alcohol, I was always a freaking pothead, smoking pot from like 11. You know, there wasn't a day that went past and I was not stoned on weed. You know, so yes. By the age of 20, I'd already tried almost all the drugs you can think of. All right, even some that you can't think of. But then I found this wonderful drug that I thought was so wonderful, so great. This drug was sent specially for me. It was called heroin. Heroin, well, street name is Thai White. So I found this stuff. And I loved it. From the first moment, that first hit I took, I fell in love. This was my love story. And the reason I loved it is because everything in me just went. Everything outside of me just went to the back. Thank you. And like I used to explain to my mother what it was like being on it. Everything around me could explode and fall apart. I wouldn't give two toots about it. I would be in heaven. So my newfound love took me to very dark places. Very dark places. Not to try and put everything in order here, but on this stuff, I started stealing first from family, mother, father, until they started getting wising up as to why am I taking so much money all the time. Then I started stealing from them, and then it was quickly turned into, if you were in my presence and you were not a very how can I say, awake about your surroundings, I would rob you blind. You would put your wallet down or something and turn your back for 2 seconds, and I'm telling you, I've already taken cash out of your wallet. That's how quickly it goes. Going to hug people, cell phone isn't poking the jacket, boop, cell phone's out. Very slick, very, very slick. So from stealing, it turned into robbery, house breakings, and from house breakings it moved up to hijackings. Well, first car theft. First it was easy going into hospitals and stealing doctors' cars, because doctors in theatre or in consultation or whatever, and his office is empty. You find all sorts of things in the offices. So car theft, to carjacking, to armed robbery, and the people that you associate with and around those groups and that are, not people to play with. As I've said to somebody else before, if you can imagine the scariest horror movie you've ever watched, okay, and then you think of, let's use, like we're using my life story, right? Then you think of my life story, my life, the places I've been. That horror story is a comedy compared to it. Some things I need to watch what I'm saying, because might be held against me in a court of law. I've witnessed human trafficking. It's the shit is real, people. Let me tell you this. You wipe the shit out of your eyes. Okay. The devil is here. This is where the devil is. That's on earth. Earth. This is hell, people. right? The shit that's out there. I mean, this is why I cannot sleep in a dark room. My TV at night is on. My room has to be lit and I need to have some noise in the background. That TV is, if you're standing at my door, you can't hear the volume, but I can just hear the volume lying in bed. I'm sitting in my bed now. And I can just hear my TV, and the TV has to be on. If the TV's off, I am not sleeping for a damn. Because every little noise I hear, that's the devil coming for me. That's what I think. You know, the Lord is on my side. The Lord knows my heart. All right. But man, let me tell you something. The devil is real. You know, there's a lot of things I can't go into a lot of details about. Unfortunately, without a lawyer present. But yeah, I moved up to other shit like fraud, bank robbery. Not like like you think bank robbery, like you're walking with guns and shit. It's like more like defrauding a bank. In Joburg, yes, what you call Bank City. It's 4 banks in a square. We defrauded Bank City. So yeah, I mean, you know, I laugh because a lot of times people get annoyed with me laughing, but that is what I've learned as a coping mechanism. I laugh at a lot of things. If I feel uncomfortable, I laugh. If I'm scared, I laugh. Alright, if I'm angry, I laugh. Alright, I've just learned to do that. And a lot of people get offended by it, which is too bad, so sad. Move on. So yeah, so think about, like I said, think about the darkest places that you can be in. The dingiest, dodgiest places you can be in. Alright. Where all manner of illegal activities take place. That was my life. When you're standing in Hillbrow, and and you just flip it, and you know that the police are going to raid Ponty Tower. Okay, this is not back then. All you do is you're standing outside Ponty, you just look up and you watch those windows open and drugs and shit just start flying out those windows. And freaking crazy crap. I mean, a white boy walking up and down Hillbrow, robbing, people in Hillbrow. But anyway, so yeah, it was another example that I used yesterday as well. It was I started, working with this one dealer. Money was good. Then eventually he said to me, why don't you start selling some of my product as well? So he built up the trust me. So I was like, sure, man, no problem. Laka, bro. This dude gave me close to 30 grand's worth of freaking stash. I mean, everything. It was from Tile White, Cat, Coke, pills, acid. It was all like a mixture. It was like a mixed masala bag, a drug addict's dream bag, which it literally was. It literally was a drug addict's dream bag. I got to this dingy, dodgy flat that I lived in, I laid this, packed the stuff out of my futon, you know, futon bed, drug addict's best friend. It's not a lack of bed, eh? Come on. You gotta admit, that thing sleeps like man. Laid all the stuff out on the bed, and I was checking the stuff out, and I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, you know what you're gonna do, aren't you? Yes, you know. Cool. Do it. So I like started using a little bit of this, a little bit of that. 30 grams worth of drugs was gone within the week. Within the week. I had sniffed, chased, shoved, everything that was there. Phone was going crazy. Freaking after the first 2 hours of you having this stuff, he's already phoning you. Have you made sale? My friend. What you doing, eh? Why you not take my stuff, eh? Why my money? I'm going to kill you. Laughing, you see. So, yes, I moved places. You didn't know where I stayed. I started working other sections, and months had gone past. Well, I thought months was like 3 or 4 months. Those I was not forgetting me. So I think he's forgotten about me. So once again, I'm in Ponty, close to the Coca-Cola Stadium, rugby stadium there, the Lions Park Stadium. And I'm standing there by the robot, and I'm busy sussing out, you know, because now there's a game on. I can't remember if it was a soccer game or a rugby game. But I'm sussing out now, where am I going to hit first? Okay. All I remember hearing was like tire screech. I remember seeing stars. And I remember waking up in a very wet, it was very wet, cold fucking concrete floor, high windows like with like a factory windows, you know, when they got like fucking like diamond mesh over them. Yeah, I woke up there, but there was blood coming out of my mouth. Now my nose is bleeding. That's when I got that freaking scar there. It went. When I walked out that room, my nose was flat like that. Well, I didn't walk, I crawled. You know. Scar on my lip, yeah. And there's a scar on my shin bone there. Ankle bone there. That's an old wound, the wrist one. Cigarette burn marks there. Yeah, most of the scarring is, gone away. But I don't remember much of the encounter. All I know is that there was what do you call it? It's not PVC. It's galvanized plumbing pipe. About from myself, about a meter. About a meter. It was a long galvanized pipe. When he had finished mooring me, all I would hear is cling cling. It was like he drops the pipe. I don't remember how many days it was, or if it was days or if it was just hours. But anyway, it felt like 4 days. Okay, in the clock. Yeah, just one day, I was like in and out of consciousness. It's like nobody's been hitting me for a while. The fucking door was open, and I don't remember anything from there. I just remember this old man standing over me, and I was almost like on the street basically. And this old man was standing over me, and he was on the phone, and I didn't hear a word. Woke up in hospital, ran away from hospital. Because now you need to give statements. Oh, fucking gone. Um, so yeah, that was a dark story. One of the dark stories. I was in prison 3 times. Uh, Twice it was awaiting trial. I was there. Both places was about a year and a half, awaiting trial. Third place wasn't that long. It was a couple of months, if I remember correctly. A friend of mine asked me the other day. He said to me, "Were you not scared when you're in prison?" And the thing was like, first of all, I may be too stupid to be scared. Um, but the thing is, yes, you are scared. All right. But if you're going to sit back and put your head between your legs and cry like a sissy girl, you're finished. Alright? So, I refuse to join any of be a part of any of the numbers inside jail and prison. Okay, so you've got 26s, 27s, 28s. Alright, so I just point blank refused. I'm not going to go into more detail about them, but you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. So I refuse to be a part. But they always try to take their chances. And that's where you, especially, and this is not being racist, this is what it is, especially as a white guy inside there, if you're going to be pushed around, you're going to be fucked up for the rest of your time there. So you either stand, put these things up, put your back against the wall, and say, let's go. So, yeah, gave a couple of hidings, got given a couple of hidings by inmates and guards. The prison wardens or more, the khatas, hola chief, or more, laughing again, you see, are more corrupt than the actual people in prison. So yeah, so then I spent time on the streets, close to 3 years, 2 something years, almost, you can call it almost 3 years. Yes, rough living, rough. Yeah, so then eventually, staying with family again, and got given the choice again to go to rehab. And in that year alone, I was in 3 different rehabs that year. I would go in, come out, use. Go in, use there. Get kicked out. Go to another one, come out and use. I just refused. I must add, before that year of rehabs, there was a spot where, when I was staying with my parents again, it was about 2 years that I had been by my folks. I was still using now and again. I met this girl, woman. I'm not going to say her name though. And we were together for a while. I wasn't really into the relationship. I was more like in for the relationship. Just a guy thing. Sick guy thing. But I did have feelings for her. And they started, as time grew on, started getting stronger. Long story short, because I see the time is going here, so I'm going to make it short. She passed away due to a car accident. And in the car, after when she was in hospital, and found out that she was actually 3 months pregnant. That grabbed me from the inside, twisted me around, and I looked like candy floss on a stick. It really screwed me up. So then, yeah, went to rehab, three rehabs in a year. Uh, Eventually ended up in Steenbokpan, Ellisras, on a game farm. The owner of the game farm had a rehab slapdash center of his game farm. With Donnie and Tony Sarita, two of the most wonderful people you'll meet in the rest of your life. Great people. And yeah, that's where I found Desmond. That's where I found me. That's where I reconnected with my higher power. I always believed in God. I mean, I would sit on the taxis going to organize drugs, and he would be speaking to me in the small, still voice. And people that text me, you look up and you go, "Shut up!" It was. So, I reconnected with my higher power. Found a love for counseling, and ended up realizing that, this is what God wants me to do, and that is to help others like myself. Unfortunately, I didn't take a lot of depth into my life story. It is more like highlights. But yeah, there's a section of my life where you can just basically highlight it as it was dark, it was horrible, it was filled with demons, Satan, all that shit. Alright? Like I said, imagine your worst nightmare movie, a horror movie you ever watched, and times that by 10. I don't even watch horror movies. I watch cartoons, and that's the honest truth. I'm 42 years old, survived a life more than 20 years of addiction, and I watch cartoons. Because you know what? I know what the fuck's out there, and I'm gonna go out laughing. And fuck the rest. So yes, back to this. So I got a certificate for counseling. This is a junior counseling certificate. It's fine. I don't need a degree or anything like that. So I also got ordained as a reverend. So did that. My one friend laughs. He goes, "Reverend Desmond Saunders." Because figure that shit out. But yeah, so yeah, counseling, and now hitting 8 years sober. So which for me is a serious thing. For some reason, all my other birthdays I'd say those weren't really great. Whatever. But for some reason, this eighth one is just it's hitting me. It's like 8 years sober, buddy. Look where you are now. So yeah, man. By the praise of God, I am here today, and by the help and love of people that never gave up. People like Tani Sarita and Wimdani, and friends like Cherry and Solka and Zane and Clinton and mother. My mother's played a big part in my recovery. I mean, I love it a bit. She's played a serious part in my recovery, and I want to before I start choking up. So, ladies and gentlemen, turds and turdettes, no matter how dark your life can be, with this demon dragging you down, help is out there. You need to find it. And when you do, fucking grab a hold of it tightly and take it and use it. but don't fuck them around. Excuse my language, but this is an addict speaking to you like an addict. If you get the help, don't fuck them around. Just realize you're blessed. Because not many people survive this thing called addiction. People, I hope, what I said may have helped, or reached, or triggered, and not triggered as in the other way, triggered an idea to get clean. People, addiction is easy, recovery is fucking hard. So don't come into this thinking it's going to be fucking smooth sailing, because it's not. You're fighting a demon that has had you for years and years and years and has controlled your fucking life. Told you, hey, Desmond, turn left. Hey, Desmond, turn right. You know, hey, Desmond, go stab that person. It's time to shake the demon. Open your arms, say help, and it will find you. Peace be with you all. God bless. Adios.